Deceptive responses when it comes to somebody who does not understand Jilly Juice and they are not happy with their results on the Jilly Juice. Okay? So when I say that there is deceptive advertising in the medical holistic industry selling you a potential to prolong your life and they're selling you antibiotics, that right there is a disconnect, okay? Because they're selling you antibiotics and even probiotics, and they also believe in the person should die anyways, okay? So that's the deceptive advertising in the medical holistic industry, is the fact that trying to sell you a prolonged life when they're actually selling you things that will cause more imbalances to eventually where you won't live anymore. Then there's the other side of where people who have taken Jilly Juice are not pleased with their results because they want a faster healing process and they want to mitigate pain. They think that they should get the immediate pain mitigation when they haven't earned it, and they passed away anyways. And then people are like, well, what the hell? This is deceptive advertising, Jillian. You said that if you take the Jilly Juice, that it's going to save me and make me live indefinitely. And this is where the deceptive responses from people who say they were on Jilly Juice for even 1 year, 2 years, or 10 years, on and off. Well, you wonder, what else are they doing in their life? Are they still taking their pills, powders, and supplements, trying to anesthetize their healing symptoms? So yes, I've seen people, like on my protocol, that would do the Jilly Juice and then immediately go and take something that is antibiotic to stop and suppress their evolution. So in essence, they are actually like at a neutral standstill and then still declining because they haven't allowed their body to heal. The thing with Bruce Wilmot, he was already at 90% at a deficit, trying to now pull himself out of the grave, and he didn't stick with it long enough. He didn't have enough support system. And yes, the pain was probably pretty intense that, yeah, I'm sure he didn't feel like he could go on doing it. And so he went back to whatever he did originally, which caused him to be where he is, where he was at that time. And that's what you're going to see with those that will be deceptively responding to the Jilly Juice, to where they are going to say that it doesn't work because, first of all, they don't want to feel pain, and they still believe people should die, and they are probably still practicing their holistic supplements, their other types of pain mitigation protocols, okay? They might be doing the elderberry syrup. They could be doing so many different types of remedies. They could be integrating it with other things that are completely undermining their healing process. Because I said, hey, if you purely want to understand the benefits of Jilly Juice, really, you do the Jilly Juice, you eat food, you do the waterfalls, you stay away from remedies and as much of the antibiotics as possible. Okay, drink water, feel the pain, and you might eventually get to a certain place. But what happens is people feel pain and they turn to their antibiotics. They turn to their drugs. They turn to other distractions so that way they don't have to feel the pain. And that's what caused them to be where they are to begin with, is because they kept running away from the pain. And the whole point of Jilly Juice is not to run away from the pain. But you'll find that those that think the Jilly Juice is some magical thing, because I don't know where they got the information from, but I told you, you have to face your pain, and they do the Jilly Juice. They're not happy. They have so much eczema, psoriasis coming up because that's what's in their genetics until they're able to balance out their microbiome and calm down the fungus by not taking antifungals. Do not take antifungals, but eventually the body is going to process out the excess fungus when it's doing the waterfalls and repairing simultaneously. But people don't want to deal with the fact that they were cursed with massive amounts of eczema and psoriasis, and they don't want to go through that process because they got to go to work still. They have to wear long sleeve shirts, during the summer, and they don't want to do that. So it's better for them to just put on the antibiotics, disappear the fungus off their arms, and not worry about it until one day their body can't handle that imbalance and they pass away anyways. But, they were in my group. And so you'll see there are people in my group right now who say they're doing the Jilly Juice. Or no, they're not really saying. They're in my group under making the impression that they're doing Jilly Juice. They're not really sharing anything. But when I post that Mark Zuckerberg is clamping down on holistic groups trying to give health advice, and they're like, oh my God, of course we would. And I'm like, you ain't doing the Jilly juice. So if you think that it's bad that Mark Zuckerberg is clamping down on the holistic remedies crowd, then you don't understand the protocol, and you understand that that actually is dangerous when people on Facebook are encouraging each other to take antibiotics, to do things to mitigate pain when they don't have a license to practice that type of medicine. And so, yes, there are people in my group that say they're doing the J juice and they're really not doing the level they should. And then you find out later, oh, that person passed away. I thought they were doing J juice. Oh, people say one thing and do another. And that's another deceptive recipient. So I'm not blind to that possibility too, because there's a lot of people that say one thing and do another. Okay. Now, not everybody is saying one thing and do another, but there are people that do say one thing and do another. And people that have taken the Jilly juice don't understand it, don't want to deal with pain, and they turn back to their cannabis. They turn back to whatever it is that caused them to be where they are to begin with. So there's that side of it that must also be understood. Hello, Kumar. All right. So please understand that you have to you have to know the chemistry and the biochemistry of yourself and of J juice, and deal with the pain. And then, yes, potential indefinite life is there if you're understanding what it takes to get there. It's not a free ride. You're going to have to pay the piper by actually facing your demons. And it's not something that happens like this. Okay, when you anesthetize your body that's trying to evolve, you think that's healing. That's what they're selling you in the medical holistic industry, that healing is where you are anesthetizing those nerve endings that are telling you it's trying to heal. That's the deception. So that's what I have to really, really focus on in my book, is the deceptive marketing practices of the holistic allopathic, and then the distraction of the anti-vax campaign. You know how many people that say they're in my group that haven't shared in a while, and they're still practicing the anti-vax campaign, but they're not promoting J juice, but they're telling everybody, oh, don't get a vaccine. But when they don't get a vaccine and they're a sitting duck for a very virulent virus and they die anyways from natural causes, you're okay with that, right? Because they didn't take the vaccine and they didn't get the test for COVID because they're too afraid of false positives and false negatives, but you're okay with them passing away from cancer, disease, and chronic illness, which I think is really fucking hypocritical, that there are people in my group that don't promote Jilly juice, but promote the anti-vax, and will never give anyone an opportunity to see what this information is about because they're too narcissistic on their fucking platforms. And that's what pisses me off. But hey, they look cute. Hey, they're successful in their little business. Hey, they're able to play that for a while until one day, yes, they're going to hit the wall and then be like, oh yeah, I got to get back on Jilly juice again because they got a diagnosis, or their husband got a diagnosis and they're the main breadwinner. Oh, now Jilly juice is a thing because now you're at the 11th hour and you just got diagnosed with the disease because you were exposed to a virus that your body couldn't handle. That's the shit that I deal with. But hey, you know, that's the human condition. And so I must be patient with that. And I have people come back on J juice because they're hitting a wall. They've been on those campaigns, you know, just looping and looping and looping, and the anti-vax and the anti-government, the anti-this and the anti-that. And they haven't paid attention to their own body, mind, and spirit until one day that virus kicked their ass. And now it's, oh, Jilly juice is the next best thing. Hell yeah, it is. And I'm sorry you didn't figure it out a couple years ago when you could be further now, you know, along in the process, not having to deal with the COVID-19 kicking your ass. And now you got to start all over again and deal with all over again all the things that you dealt with before. Doesn't know anything more than the person who they're taking care of. Yeah, I'm listening to myself. All right, so it is what it is. But I just want to let you know there is different responses to Jilly juice that are also deceptive. Now, is it intentional deception? Yes, there's a combination of those that really intend to deceive, and there's a combination of those that really just don't understand and think that this is some miracle drug. And I've never, ever promoted this is a miracle anything. I'm not a doctor, never purported to be, and I don't want to be your doctor. You read the information, you research before you do anything, and if you can't handle pain, then go back to your doctor. If you can't handle evolution, go back to your doctor, go back to whatever, and take everything out until there's nothing left. And then you'll be pain-free for eternity. Talk to you later. Bye.